Girls, what do guys do that they think is being manly but in reality is the furthest thing from it? I don't know if it's a Canada thing, but an awful lot of guys brag about how they can wear shorts in the winter. This is not an accomplishment. My most recent boyfriend would be loving behind closed doors, but in front of his friends would tease me and would joke around in a hurtful way. But he's just kidding, haha. Because he's a man and B ain't crap or whatever he was trying to demonstrate to his boys. I brought it up multiple times but he continued to act disrespectfully toward me and I eventually broke up with him. Like, wouldn't you treat your girl like she was somebody you were proud to be with? Even his friends seemed embarrassed for me. And don't get me wrong, I can take a joke, but at some point it's not joking anymore. Bro, you call those burgers? When I was snowboarding down the volcanoes of Hawaii with Chuck Norris, we cooked burger 4 times that size. You left out the part of when I was free soloing up MT Vesuvius. Bragging about wealth. It's very lame when you hear a dude bragging about being upper middle class, especially when they're just the typical broke college student pretending for attention. What I see more commonly is students, doubly rich parents, bragging about being broke like being broke is a trend but somehow affording to go out 3+ nights a week. It isn't really tied to manliness. My friend once said if girls are turned on by guys revving their engines, there'd be lots of girls being fricked along highways, which is true in some sense. Not a girl. I'm an electrician and we often have to work in loud and dusty areas. The companies we work for are required to provide eye, ear and respiratory protection. When I first started my apprenticeship, I was in this absolutely filthy ceiling in a casino and I had said I wanted to grab a mask before I get up in there. The journeyman I was working with just scoffed and said you don't need that crap. You're still young. WTF. I'm going to grab myself a mask because I am young and still have a very long career in this trade. So yes, I will protect my lungs. Lungs are necessary for me to smoke my weed and breathe and stuff. Also happens often with earplugs. Some guy is drilling through concrete and metal and doesn't use them. Sometimes the drilling must be done in a confined space, making the noise even worse. I often have to persuade my co-workers to use their PPE, earplugs and masks at least. That's how you end up as a 70-year-old man who has cataracts and is deaf without hearing aids. When they argue over something they don't know about, I don't understand how can they sound so confident even if they have no clue, and it makes them look dumb and stubborn. This was years ago but I have heard guys brag about not backing down, even when they knew they were wrong. It just makes them look like an butt. I have an ex that would make me walk a few paces behind him because he was the man and was leading me. Also, if I would speak up about something in public he would shoot me dagger eyes to quiet me. Frick that guy. That's not something that most guys think is manly. That's just control and abuse. Being so angry. An ex. At family BBQs he'd have to put an angry face on and like tense all his muscles the whole time. If someone spoke to him, he'd give a smart butt remark or ignore them. So glad I am away from that. Not doing the emotional labor in a relationship. Any relationship, romantic, family, friends. It's not cool to be emotionally distant and not show people that you care about them. So many men think it's a woman's job to remember birthdays, give support when someone needs to vent, etc. Like, no, you want to have someone in your life, you care about them, treat them like it. It won't make you less of a man to pat someone on the back when they're feeling down. I find that a lot of guys tend to shy away from admitting to the existence of their feelings. Many conversations with my friends have started with dude that sounds gay as heck. And then they talk about how much they care about a loved one, significant other. Like, nah dude, man up and be a human being. We've all got feelings. Best to enjoy them. Witness a dude trying to be alpha get put down and it was cringeworthy. It was at a Super Bowl party and everyone put their beer in the cooler or fridge. This guy who is a friend of a friend is a douche canoe and if he doesn't know you he will try to intimidate you and the only thing he has going for his intimidating persona is the fact he is tall. Well, he opened the fridge and saw some flavored beer in there and yelled out while holding up the flavored beer, "Whose pea-butt beer is this?" At that moment I cringe because that pea-butt beer belonged to my friend's brother-in-law who is a Navy SEAL. Well, the brother-in-law looks at the douche canoe and very calmly says, "That's mine. Is that a problem?" Douche canoe knows that the bill is a gunslinging, soul harvesting pipe hitter and immediately looks flustered and embarrassed while stating no, it was just in the way of the case, or some other lame excuse. The brother-in-law is very down to earth and didn't take it offensively at all because he knows he doesn't need to prove himself. TLDR. Navy SEAL administers a dose of reality to a douche canoe. I just looked up pipe hitter on Urban Dictionary. From Pulp Fiction I had always taken it to mean seaheads willing to do anything for a buck, like torture a dude to death, till it's a military term for a badass. Starting random fights, or being overly macho as if to start a fight. It doesn't make you a man to prove you can beat anyone up. It makes you a childish douchebag who thinks he can solve all of his problems with his fists. I had a ex-boyfriend that would make faces, roll his eyes, make that WTF is she talking about smirk, whenever we were in public. It's like he became a dong in front of others to show dominance or something. Whenever I would ask him why he's making that face, he'll proceed to argue with me. In private, he doesn't pull that crap. I had to end. Wearing really baggy pants that require you to hold onto your junk in public. Literally no woman finds this attractive. Thinking they have to be manly, just be yourself. All that other crap is fake and dumb. People are people. Be one, not some artificial stereotype. The best guys I have ever known didn't play the manly game. Any guy who shoots on mental health or going to therapy. My friend's husband once said, "Why is Bob depressed all the time? I think he's overreacting." Therapy? You don't need therapy. Come to me. I'll give you a shot of whiskey and kick you in the balls. You'll feel better. I sat there and shook my head. Veteran here. It took me 12 years to let go of that and go get help. Edit, thanks for the gold. Kinda stranger. Dated a guy who bragged about never reading. He thought it reading was nerdy. No, you're just being immature. Same guy also did crazy stupid stunts, which could seriously endanger his life. Like climb to the 4th floor balcony on the outside of the apartment complex, just because. Guys who treat their girl like crap in front of people to show that they are the man in the relationship. It always makes me think that in private, they must be very insecure about their masculinity. I find gentle and affectionate men to be the manliest ones. Acting like they have tons of money. I have actually had to sit and listen to guys talk about how flush they are on several occasions. They talk about how much their vehicles cost, how big their home is, and about their bonuses and paychecks. Sometimes I've just sat there and laughed on the inside, because I've actually made more money than some of these guys were bragging to me about. Money doesn't equal manliness or instant attraction for me. It just makes you sound like a douchebag. I'd much rather hear about what you do for a living, your passions, or your plans for the future. Guys with passion and a plan are very sexy. Boasting about how much alcohol they can drink and how often, when they are clearly injured, pretending that they're not hurt at all and refusing medical attention. I'm pretty much the opposite of a manly man, but I always pretend not to be hurt when I am in extreme pain. Mostly because I hate being the center of attention, if that makes any sense. Generally, policing other men's manliness. Thinking of a time a guy tried that's a girly drink, shame on a friend. Friend pointed out that as a man, he'd drink whatever he liked and dude could pee off. Idiot guy was laughed at so hard by our group he left the bar. Guys who have to be alpha in every situation. Dated a guy like that. Any sort of social interaction, he had to go around to each guy and had a system to stare them down into submission. Seriously. Barbecue with friends. Walks up to the guy on grill and starts demeaning his cooking. Then attempts to be taller and just stares at him. Then walks over to me triumphantly. That guy knows his place in the hierarchy now. You're with the most alpha guy at this party. That relationship didn't last long. Any man who must say I am king is no true king. What have we learned from this thread? Clean up your home, car, and workspace. Wash your dang hands. Take care of your body and eat healthy. Don't be ashamed of being clean or eating healthy, and don't shame others for it. Don't brag, especially about your dong. Don't intimidate people for fun. This includes catcalling. Don't make light of a person's worth. Treat people with respect and dignity, even those that treat you badly. Don't gossip or trash talk or generally disparage people unable to defend themselves. Women aren't be or hoes. And racial epithets are officially not manly. You insecure freak. Be a good steward of the environment. Mute the machismo. Avoid perfectly good opportunities to throw your life away for no apparent reason other than pride and ego. Calm the frick down. Learn to cook for frick's sake. Don't be so angry at everything and everyone that might possibly not be serving you. Get help if you need it. You're not less of a man. My own personal advice. Cool babies. Be romantic. Enjoy cartoon films. Cook better than cheaty they can. And enjoy cooking for your own satisfaction. Stay in shape. See your doctor as often as you need to. Egg regularly. Drink whiskey and wine and whatever the frick you think tastes good, including those flavored colorful drinks from fish bowls. To heck with the haters. Make yourself the kind of person that doesn't need to prove a dang thing to anyone ever, because you're genuinely comfortable in your own skin. Not a girl, but dealing with girlfriend's brother who is currently suffering from douchiness. He was apparently a sensitive kid with a need to be the center of attention, but he recently joined the army reserves and now thinks he literally is the center of attention. I thought they were supposed to train military recruits to respect others, but now he struts around in his uniform, refuses to listen to anyone else's opinions, and acts like anybody else's needs are subservient to his own. He's not even old enough to drink, but he thinks he has the world figured out and he's on top of it. What he's really doing is pushing everyone away with his attitude and besmirching the uniform he obviously takes too much pride in wearing. The worst part? The more time he spends amongst his old high school friends who now worship him as a super tough army guy, the bigger his ego gets. I promise his unit hates him. Not eating healthy. Real men eat meat and potatoes. Salads and light beer are for women. Everyone needs vitamins and fiber, and regularly having beer and chicken wings leads to a beer guy. Story from an old book I like. Female roommate goes out of town for a month. Male roommates eat nothing but steak and potatoes. As they're boasting about this to the male commentator, the female commentator asks what happened. In a tiny voice, one responds, "We got scurvy." At work, pretending to tell other people how to do their job, give orders. You aren't their boss. Stop trying to pretend like you are and look like you are the man in charge. Actively avoiding anything period related, like refusing to buy tampons when they are at the store or gagging when they hear girls talking about anything having to do with it. I mean, seriously guy? Do you think you're gonna suddenly spout some ovaries by touching a box of pads? Taking no part in being in your child's life. For instance, I've been labeled second mommy nut up and be a father to your child. Not being able to do basic adult things like cooking and cleaning. A lot of guys seem to think domestic tasks are feminine and should be left to women, but not being able to take care of yourself makes you look incompetent, not manly. Trying to fight everyone or talking constantly about how they can kick anybody's butt. Fighting is just a huge turn off for most girls. It's good to know that they are capable of protecting me if there was ever a time where I would need protecting. But fighting just to fight is trashy and not attractive. Grow up. Not going to the doctor when you need to go to the doctor. Walking around the house, complaining about every little symptom but not actually trying to resolve your illness. Nothing manly about that. Ignoring dangerous symptoms that could cause long-term harm to you. That doesn't get my motor running. Thinking they're teaching the lady something when in reality, they're condescending and being ridiculously presumptuous. I play D&D with my group at the local nerd store, and every time I meet a new guy there, it's a 50/50 chance of him being either the chillest dude ever, or some self-righteous T who needs to validate his masculinity by educating me on my own hobbies. I've noticed the chill dudes are typically mid-20s and up. The twats seem to be my age, early to mid-20s, and come across like a know-it-all 5-year-old trying to impress the kindergartners. I was once dating a guy who was weirdly intimidated by just one of my guy friends. Well, my roommate and I at the time loved anything bacon, so her mother bought us bacon flavored vodka. This was probably the worst thing I had ever drank in my entire life, so naturally we kept it in our cupboard just in case. Well, my friend had heard us talking about it and wanted to try it. He takes a shot of it and promptly yelled about how gross it was, obviously. So my boyfriend had to one-up him and take 3 huge gulps of it. I've never seen regret so fast. Dude runs to the bathroom and throws up for about half an hour. Comes back out to all of us still laughing at his dumb ass. He still thought he was the more alpha guy there because of how many gulps he had. Shockingly, the relationship didn't last much longer. When they designate certain things to be girl jobs and won't do them, like grocery shop, cook, clean, or they will go to the store, but if their wife or girlfriend need tampons they won't buy them because that's gross, or they believe their dong will fall off if they touch a box of tampons. And I've met a lot of men that are like that. I don't know how they stay married. I couldn't do it. I'm guessing the women that marry dudes like that have dads like that and they think it's normal. Newsflash, it's not normal. When guys are too afraid of appearing gay or unmanly that they won't participate in anything remotely feminine. For example, not being able to admit if another guy is objectively attractive, refusing to wear pink, drink a girly drink, hold their girlfriend's purse, etc. Like, we get it, dude. You're a straight male. I think it's an attractive quality to be secure enough in yourself to not have to overplay the manly card. In my experience, some men feel partaking in any domestic chores, that is, washing dishes, vacuuming, laundry, etc., is emasculating. So they forego doing any of it when in reality it is such an aphrodisiac for many women. There is something so erotic about having a man take part in these domestic affairs. Think about it, the marketing team for Mr. Clean specifically chose a Vin Diesel looking character to cater to heterosexual women and increase sales. So gentlemen of Reddit, if you want to really stoke the fire for your ladies, surprise them by executing your manliness and clean, then enjoy the earth-shattering sex that is sure to follow. This is just a theory, but I swear it's emasculating excuses just to cover up for being lazy. I say this as a man who can sometimes be lazy as frick but doesn't think domestic chores are emasculating. I just don't like doing them. I'm a guy, so I'm not sure if girls have the same opinion as me, but I hate when other guys just have to show women how physically strong they are. Maybe I'm being biased, because I'm a fairly skinny guy, but one of my friends always has to compare muscles with me whenever women are around, even though he already knows he's stronger. Dude is not your friend. As a guy that showers daily and regularly use baby wipes to wipe my butt, I was in disbelief when my GF told me of some ex-BFS of her that said a man shouldn't shower every day, and people who don't wash their butt because they think it's gay. Punching walls' doors when they are angry. My boyfriend, now husband, did that once at the beginning of our relationship and was met with one big eye roll. He's never done it again. It's not impressive or mature, and now I have to fix the freaking drywall. You goon. You goon. The best insult. As a 16-year-old who hasn't even had his first kiss, I must be honest, this thread has incredibly helped me. Often at school I feel pressure to fit in, and so I am required to do most of these things. This thread has shown me that to impress women I do truly have to just be myself. Thank you. I should probably add that most girls at my school are trashy, so this will definitely help me outside of school and later on in life. Slamming down weights at the gym. I see people throwing them, purposely dropping them, and just trying to make noise at the gym. Stop. It's not manly, it's obnoxious. Then looking around after to see if anyone's watching them. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.